In this devlog, I will be showing you the terrain, harvesting, planting, and tilling features that I have introduced. The terrain features are from they are from a video series by pixelreyn. Uh, uh, he made procedural terrain, and it included a script to mine the terrain. And so I just copied his code using all that. Or, well, more so imported because it was a bunch of code. But I modified the terrain quite a bit. No, not this. So in this height map area, I modified the code for the ocean to, instead of doing water, it would do the following things. If it is below ocean height minus 15, which is the number I use to get it to be, which is it's about where the terrain generates and not where the water would generate or whatever. If it is below that, set the block to, set the voxel to 1, which would be grass in this case. If it is below, or if it is above this number, set it to air. This just shaves off all hills. This one fills in all holes. And this one sets everything under the grass to be, or everything under the top layer of grass to dirt. So yes, you are hearing that right. I turned a procedural terrain generation script into procedurally generating an infinitely flat plane. I took all the fun out of it. You're welcome. Okay, this blue thing in the front tills the soil, that red thing plants the crops, and this pink thing harvests them. I don't know why that happened. I think it might be something with the terrain around the origin, like in a boundary around the origin, like I don't know how far out. But for some reason, the terrain in that area just does not like to be mined or dug into or something. I don't know why or how. It just does that. I think it might have run into that, maybe. I'm gonna restart that. Yeah, I've got all the... Of course I've got all the same stuff as before. Okay, any moment now it'll start harvesting. Okay, let me go over to the harvester, which is this part. And this is just a placeholder because currently there's no like actual way of triggering it, but yeah, this is all the corn that it has harvested. It's all in one spot right now, but if I do that, yeah, explodes everywhere. It corns all over the place, you could say. Okay. so let me show you how these work. So this, let me get the hose script up. Okay, so this is the digging script from the terrain generation thing I just grabbed. These are all the things that came with it. This is all the stuff I added to make it automatable. It, in the terrain generation thing I grabbed this from, it was supposed to use the camera as the point that it would be raycasting from or whatever, but I added these all to substitute it. So this is the dig state, so you can turn it on and off. This is the range, so like the range of the thing. So this could be used for like some kind of progression from some kind of wooden hoe to maybe a laser hoe in the future. Or something. I have no plans for that at the moment. This is all the points to dig at, which are all of these. And this is the current dig point. And this is the delay between actions. So at the start, it starts the dig loop, which is while this object is enabled, check if the dig state is enabled. This part is here because I just need something to be true. I have to do this in an IE numerator because that is how I can set a. This is how I can have it for seconds or to wait or whatever, so that I don't have to waste time by using the update function or anything like that. And there's also so I could like speed it up in the future maybe for like upgrades. I have no plans at the moment. Okay, so if dig state is true, for every dig point, set current dig point to that dig point and then dig. If dig state ever goes false, break. I think I just realized that this means I can't turn it back on. Well, that's going to be an issue for another time. Let me just write that down real quick. Okay, I think the yield, I'm pretty sure the yield break is just to save computer power by just not checking for this the whole time. Okay, now, dig. Dig is, there's also dig pulse, which is what I use for the planter to essentially undig. This is here because I don't want it digging all the time. I only want it digging right after, or I only want it doing it right after I plant it. Or maybe it's before, I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So, if this is a raycast, if raycast, blah, 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 out, hit info. So if from this position forward you hit something, and if that something is within the range, hang on. Okay, sorry, I was writing a note. Okay. If this thing you were hitting is within the range, then get the chunk, I guess. I modified this script. This was the digging script that I mentioned earlier. So I don't know how most of this works. I did watch their tutorials all the way up to the last one, which is where I pulled this from. Well, all the way up to and including the last one. But in the last one, he just kind of changed literally everything. So, I don't know how it works anymore, but whatever. Okay, chunk position. So, I think this is getting the chunk it is in. And then I think getting the position of the block within that chunk, and then this seems to be getting the location of the block, I guess. Place block in place. So if hit info, okay, so this is, I don't really know what this means. Well, it means it replaces the block in the place. Like if you were putting water in place of where dirt was, rather than on top of it. And then this is resetting all that stuff, I guess. And this draws a line. Yeah, I don't really know how most of this works. I just know that it does. Everything, yeah, I didn't touch any of this. Okay, for the planter, it is much the same as the digger, just with plants. So yeah. Oh, and then it has an amount of plant. Oh, hang on, I gotta. Okay, I'm back. Okay. So yeah, it does the same thing, plant, crop, yada yada. But now it checks if it has crops to plant. And if it does, plant it and then subtract one crop. And then it does a raycast. I haven't actually implemented the range, I guess. I will do that later. Like tomorrow, I guess. Undigger, which would be this, which is this, which is the same dig script as before. Okay, undigger, trigger the dig pulse to put the dirt back, and then plant the plant. While making all this, I looked up, before making all this digging stuff, I looked up why plants or why farmland actually needs to be tilled. It is apparently to just stir it up, kill all the germs in there, or something, or make it harder for them to exist. Stirs up all the weeds to make them, to make it easier to make them not as pesky, to disrupt the weeds. That's what I was trying to say. And also to just stir the nutrients around, I guess. Which, I didn't know that. And you probably didn't either. Yeah. Then make a plant at the position that the raycast hit. Then for the harvester, I don't really need this outputting stuff right now. Okay, so this is on trigger, enter if this is currently harvesting, and if you are if the thing you are triggering with is a crop, so either a growing crop or a finished crop, add the harvestable part from the crop. Make a new harvestable part, which is this. It's a custom class or whatever. Part, number of harvestable parts. So, as in like, this is the object to spawn, and this is the number of it. Parts.last, which is the most recent one. Then the part of that, which is the object to spawn, equals equals the other object in the collision, which would be the plant. Get the part from that, and then get the number of parts also from that. And then destroy the plant. And then when outputting, for every part in the parts, or for every part in the list of parts, and for every part in every part within the list of parts, okay. For every part in, for everything in the list of parts and then for every part, and then for all of the things that is harvested, which would be the number of harvestable parts, create a harvested part, which would be like the corn part of the corn, and then clear it. I actually changed some stuff in the crop growth. I added an onDestroy method, which removes it from the growth incrementer so that it doesn't be like, or so that it's not like, hey, where's the crop? And then it stops working. And then after that, I made it so that it would stop the growth increment and then start it up again. This is for the same reason as the removing from the list, because apparently that wasn't enough. Well, I mean, yeah, it wasn't enough. And I also added this. This is the same thing as the current segment ++ thing. I made this its own thing because I was originally going to adjust the collider size of the crop as well, so that it could be harvested from anywhere along the crop, but then I realized that was stupid after wasting 3 hours on it. I realized it was stupid because, one, it's not like you need to harvest it from anywhere but the bottom anyway, even for things like a vine or a tree or anything, you only need to harvest it from one point. And also, for most things, it's a plant. If you push on it, it falls over. It's not like you collide with it much in real life anyway. Like if you walk through a cornfield, you're pushing the crops over. They're not very sturdy. So they don't need to change, so that the collider doesn't need to be increased. Okay, so it does the math for the number of harvestable parts. I'm doing it on the crop itself instead of doing the math when I harvest it, so that I don't have to have as many Git components, which saves resources. Computer resources, not like video game resources. Saves processing power, I mean. So so it gets the number of harvestable parts by doing the current segment and then multiplying that by the number of harvestable parts per segment, which for corn would be 1. There's one thing per segment. 1 corn per corn segment. And the reason it's not like +1 in this part is because the bottom segment doesn't have any corn on it. Or it doesn't have any harvestable parts. I think that was everything I changed in this. Oh, yeah, other than adding the variables for that. For the growth incrementer, I added it so that you could trigger these from the inspector. Or no, so I can, not you, because you're not going to be using this part. It ended up not working, but oh well. Yeah, that is it. This is just this is going to be an infinitely flat plane with just harvesters. Next, I'm gonna like let the vehicles be automated, I guess, so that you can just have them drive themselves around, I guess. I don't have many plans for it right now. I'm just kind of making all the base features right now so I can avoid trying to do scope creep. It has taken a while to make this video, not because it has taken a while to get to this point, just because I have been in Europe. I've just been on a vacation for the last 2 weeks. So, yeah, that's why. I will see you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed.